everyone, myself Prayak Patel, working as Assistant Professor in IT/ICT Department of LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. Now in today's video lecture, I will discuss about the next unit, unit number 2, trees. Now in unit number 2, first topic is introduction of trees. So here we discuss what is tree and different operation or types of tree. So first thing is definition of tree. Let G equal to VE be a loop-free undirected graph. The graph G is called a tree if G is connected and contain no cycle. That means graph become a tree when in a graph no any cycle is present, then it is considered as a tree. So for example, here see in this figure, we consider the first figure as a tree because no any cycle available in this graph. Now second figure is also considered as a tree because in second graph also no any cycle. Third graph is also considered as a tree because no any cycle available between this node. So here we can say that when a graph is a tree, we write the T in place of G. So in graph we represent the capital G for the graph. So in tree we use the capital T symbol for the tree. Now in a tree, one new concept as a forest. Now understand what is forest. A forest is an undirected, disconnected, acyclic graph. So here no any cycle is available, disconnected graph is available and graph is undirected. In other words, a disjoint collection of trees is known as a forest. Each component of a forest is a tree. For example, here this total figure is considered as a forest because in a forest we have a more than one tree is available. So disconnected part of the tree is considered as a forest. So first is a one tree, second one is another tree, and combination of these two tree is considered as a forest. That means more than one tree is considered as a forest. So this is a concept of the forest. Now after that, in a tree, the graph G1 is a tree, but graph G2 is not a tree because it contains the cycle AB, BC, CA. So see in this figure, first figure G1 is considered as a tree, but according to figure 2, G2, in G2, G2 considered as a graph, not considered as a tree because here one cycle is available between A, B and C. So figure 2 is a graph, not as a tree. Now after that, what about the graph 3? So graph 3 is not considered as a tree because here in graph 3 we have a two different component, two part of this graph is available. So we can say that this graph is a disconnected graph. So here this G3 is considered as a forest, not considered as a tree because here one part is AB and another part is a C, D, E and F. So G3 is a forest, not considered as a tree. Okay, now after that, definition of the spanning tree. Now we already know what is the spanning graph. So for understanding the spanning tree, you must require the knowledge about the spanning graph. A spanning graph or spanning tree for a connected graph is a spanning subgraph that is also a tree. So for the spanning tree, most requirement is graph is a spanning subgraph, and in spanning subgraph no any tree is available, no any cycle is available. That means this spanning subgraph is a tree. We may think of this spanning tree as providing minimum connectivities of the graph. So a spanning tree is a connected graph. G is a subgraph H of G that include all the vertices of G and is also considered as a graph. So here spanning subgraph, for understanding of the spanning tree, first you require the knowledge about the spanning subgraph. So in spanning subgraph, definition of spanning subgraph is given a directed or undirected graph G equal to VE. Let G1 equal to V1 E1 be a subgraph of G. If V1 equal to V, then G1 is called the spanning subgraph of G. That means in spanning subgraph we have to cover each and every nodes. So not compulsorily we have to include the all the edges, but we have to include the all the node of the original graph in a subgraph. Then this graph is considered as a spanning subgraph. So same way in a spanning subtree we use this theorem or use this concept. In a spanning tree also we have considered the given graph is a tree and they cover all the nodes of the your original graph as in a your subgraph. So we can say that this is a spanning subgraph. Now here for the spanning tree, use the same rule. So here G1 is a subgraph of G2 because G2 containing the edges like total 6 edges available and total 6 node is available in G2. Now in G1 we remove the one edge A to B. So G1 is considered as a tree. Now G1 is a subgraph of G2. Yes. Then G1 is considered as a tree and G1 is called the spanning tree for the graph G2 because here no any cycle is available. All the nodes are included in our subgraph. So we can say that this is a spanning tree for the graph G2. Now for the G3, G3 is a spanning forest for G2 because here G3 is not considered as a tree, it is a forest. So we can say that we included all the nodes according to G2 graph in G3. That G3 is considered as a all the node is available in a graph G3 and this is a not a tree but it is a forest. So we can say that G3 is a spanning forest for G2. Now after that some theorem about the tree is available. So first theorem of the tree is like G1 is a subgraph of G2. If A, B are distinct vertices in a tree T equal to VE, then there is a unique path that connect these vertices. So here A and B two vertices available in the graph. Then here one unique path available between the A and B. It is a theorem. So for that, proof for this theorem is since T is a connected, there is at least one path in T that connect the A and B node. So according to this, if there were more than from two such paths, some of the edges would form a cycle. That means if the more than one path is available between two nodes, that means they become a cycle. So if graph containing cycle, then we can say that this is not a tree. So but T has a no cycle, that means we can say that this is a tree having no any multiple path available between the two nodes. Now another theorem related to tree is if G equal to VE is an undirected graph, then G is connected if and only if G has a spanning tree. So we already know what is the spanning tree. Spanning tree means we have to cover the each and every nodes without any cycle because for the tree no any cycle is available and we have to cover the all the nodes according to spanning rule. Okay. So here for this theorem proof is if G has a spanning tree T, then for every pair AB of the distinct vertices in B, a subset of edges in T provide a unique path between A and B, and so G is a connected. Now here we can say that if G is a connected and G is not a tree, remove all the loops from G. So here G is a graph and in this graph if any cycle is available, then remove that path of the cycle and we check the once again this is a tree or not. So here we can say that if the resulting subgraph G1 is not a tree, then G1 must contain a cycle C1. Remove edge E1 from cycle C1 and let G2 graph equal to G1 minus E1. So here we remove the one edge E1 from the graph G1. So resultant graph has a G2 after removing the edge E1. Now same way we have to perform this operation. So if G2 contains no cycle, then G2 is a spanning tree for the graph G. Because G2 contains all the vertices in G is loop free and is connected. So we can say that it is a spanning subtree. Now if G2 does contain a cycle, that means here also one cycle is available in G2 also. So we have to consider the cycle as a C2. So for removing the cycle C2, you have to remove the edge E2. So here remove the edge E2 from the cycle C2 and consider the subgraph G3 equal to G2 minus E2. So we can say that G1 minus E1 minus E2. So G1 minus E1 E2. Once again, if G3 contains no cycle, then we have a spanning tree for the graph G as a G3. But here now G3 containing cycle, then we have to repeat this process. Means otherwise we continue this procedure a finite number of additional times until we find the spanning subgraph from the graph G. So this is a theorem, or proof of this theorem is like this. Now after that, next concept is non-isomorphic tree. Now we already know what is the isomorphic graph. Same way we consider the isomorphic tree. So both the similar tree is considered as a isomorphic tree. So number of node is equal, number of edges is equal, then degree of the node is equal. Only difference is drawing of this tree is different. Then we can say that this is a isomorphic. See here, this T1, T2 and T3. Three tree is available. So in this 3T, here tree is considered as a non-isomorphic tree, because in T1 we have a consider the different tree, T2 consider the another tree, and T3 is also considered the another tree. So this 3T is not a isomorphic tree. This 3T is a, we can say that the no any rule satisfy according to isomorphic rule. Now after that, theorem about the tree is, in every tree T equal to VE, mod V equal to mod E plus 1. Now here meaning of the mod means length of the vertices or length of the edges like this. So here mod V means number of node equal to, mod E means number of edges plus 1. So now for this theorem, see here in this figure, first part A. In part A only one node is available. That means mod E equal to 0. No any edge is available. So mod E equal to 0. Then the T consisting of the single isolated vertices. Here mod V equal to 1, mod E equal to 0. So mod V equal to E plus 1. So E equal to 0. So 0 plus 1 equal to 1. So satisfy this theorem for the first figure A. Now for the second figure B. If mod V equal to 1, then the tree consists of two vertices. So here two vertices is available. Here mod V equal to 2 equal to mod E plus 1. So mod E means number of edges. Here only one edge is available. So 1 plus 1 equal to 2. Now after that, if mod E equal to 2, then the tree consisting of three vertices. Here mod V equal to 3 in figure C. Now mod E plus 1 equal to 2 plus 1 equal to 3. So this satisfies the theorem of the mod V equal to mod E plus 1. Now after that, another theorem for the tree is, for every T equal to VE, if mod V greater or equal to 2, that means at least two vertices is available in a tree, then T has at least two pendant vertices, means here we can say that the leaf vertices as a two vertices. Now for this theorem, let mod V equal to n greater or equal to 2. From previous theorem, we know that mod E equal to n minus 1, because n is a number of vertices. So mod V minus 1, that means n minus 1. So according to this, we can say that 2n minus 1 equal to 2e, because we already know that 2e equal to sigma V belongs to V, degree of V. This is also a previous theorem. Now according to these two theorem, we can conclude that 2n minus 1 equal to 2 mod E equal to sigma V belongs to V, degree of V. Now after that, since T is a connected, we have a degree of V greater or equal to 1 for all V belongs to V, because this is a tree. If there are k pendant vertices in tree, so in tree we have a k pendant vertices, so we can say that the degree of the pendant vertex equal to 1. Then each of the other n minus k vertices has the degree at least 2, because this is a tree. So without the pendant vertex, remaining all vertices having a degree equal to 2 or greater than 2. So we can say that according to this rule, 2n minus 1 equal to 2 mod E equal to sigma V belongs to V, degree of V greater or equal to k plus 2n minus k. So k means pendant vertices. So here if 5 pendant vertices available, then k equal to 5 plus 2 into n minus k. So total 10 vertices available, then 10 minus 5 node having a degree 2. So we write here 2 into n minus k. Now according to C, we see that 2n minus 1 greater or equal to k plus 2n minus k. Now next step is 2n minus 2 greater or equal to k plus 2n minus 2k. Now solve this equation, then we will get the minus 2 greater or equal to minus k. That means k greater or equal to 2. So satisfy this theorem. If the k number of pendant vertices is available, then we can say that k greater or equal to 2. So satisfy the theorem. If mod v greater or equal to 2, then T has at least 2 pendant vertices. Okay. So after that, some property about the tree is available here. So understand the some property of the tree. It is also called the theorem about the tree. The following statements are equivalent for a loop-free undirected graph G equal to V. So here G as a graph, V and E as a set of node and set of edges. First thing is G is considered as a tree. Second, G is a connected, but the removal of any edge from G disconnect G into two subgraphs that are trees. Third thing, G contain no cycle, that means mod V equal to mod E plus 1. Now next, G is a connected and mod V equal to E plus 1. Now next, G contain no cycle, and if AB belongs to V with AB not belongs to E, that means A and B node available in a graph but no any edge available as a edge AB. Then the graph obtained by adding edge AB to G has considered the one cycle. Now next, some another property of the tree is like every tree which has at least two vertices should have at least two leaves. Let T be a graph with n vertices. Then the following statements are equivalent. First is T is a tree. T contains no cycle and has n minus 1 edges. T is connected and has n minus 1 edges. T is a connected graph and every edges is a cut edges. Any two vertices of the graph T has connected by exactly one path. T contain no cycle, and for a new edge E, the graph T plus E has exactly one cycle. Now next is every connected graph contain a spanning tree. So these all are the considered as a properties of the tree. Okay. So in this lecture we discuss about the what is the tree and different properties of the tree and also example of the tree. Thank you for watching this video.